Hello, hello, is it me you're looking for? Just kidding, a little song and dance for you. Hi, Rita Unfiltered. So I'm pulling out all my gorgeous, beautiful shells, and you're gonna be like, why are you doing that? Because what I'm about to show you is some stuff that you don't get to see every single day. I just came back from a long Far East journey. I went so far, I was closer to Australia than not. Like I said, I've been going to a lot of different places. The last few trips that I have taken, none of them have been somewhere where it's like, oh, I would love to go back again, right? But this trip, I have to go back again. I will go back again, and I want to tell you guys about this. So I ended up going to what is called Papua, and this is in Indonesia. So Indonesia is made up of tons and tons of islands like Bali and Ubud, and that's like, oh my God, let's get all of our nature and get like all of that stuff. But from what I have been hearing about these places, I feel like it's kind of overrun by dirty, lowbrow Australians and Russians. Not trying to say no nothing, but if you take offense to it, then I'm probably talking to you. And I wasn't really interested in going over there. So the first part of our trip, we went to Kalimantan, and that is what Indonesia calls their city of Borneo. But right now, what I really want to just focus on is Papua. Papua was amazing. First of all, it's in the middle of nowhere. Even if you look on the map, it's not just like it's gonna pop right up. You gotta boop, boop, boop. You gotta open up that map like 4 times, and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. There are no bars out there, there's no restaurants out there, there is nothing out there except for God's glorious ocean. If you are into the splendors in the ocean, this is for you. So the island of Papua New Guinea is split in half, where the right side is Papua New Guinea and the west side is Papua. And this is the side that belongs to Indonesia. They're doing a lot of work in conserving the ocean. It's just incredible, y'all. Like, I've never seen anything like this, okay? I really love snorkeling. I've been diving. I used to go diving in the past. And I've been to many places in the world to go snorkeling and diving. But this Papua, y'all, I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled. I don't know where I'm supposed to go now. In May, I had gone to Watamu and we had gone snorkeling. You know, Kenya, like we have like nice snorkeling over here, right? We have some nice reefs. Our fishes are really big, and it was amazing. Now after going to Papua, This is nonsense. This is nonsense. This is just like a little meh. But this place was fantastic. So just to let you know how hard it and how long it took us to get there. So from Jakarta, we flew 4 hours to a town called Sorong. Imagine that 4-hour flight from Jakarta to Sorong, we went 2 hours ahead in the time zone. Once we got to Sorong, the hotel that I had like booked to be able to put all these like excursions and everything together, they picked us up. From there, you take a 2-hour ferry ride to a city called Waisin. I might be saying it wrong, but bear with me. You get what I'm saying. And then from there, it was another 2-hour ferry ride to where the hotel had set up where they have their snorkeling. And what was really cool about the hotel, everything was inclusive, right? You paid your one fee and it included all of your food, it included all of your transport, it included all of your dive and snorkeling trips, it included your room, and the service was just incredible. The people were amazing. The chef was fantastic. Shout out to Chef Ian. Pew, pew, pew. But let's talk about the water. I've never seen such deep, clear water in my life. So even at the port where the ferries picked up, the water, you could see the floor. And I don't know the last time any of you guys went to like a port where they're filled with these boats. It ain't clear. It's not like pretty and nice, okay? There were parts in this place where you could see the floor and it was like 18 meters down, okay? Clear. But let's get to this water. The hotel is like super small, right? It's only 10 bungalows. That's it. And they are always packed, especially during their busy season. Minimum night requirements to stay are 7 nights to be able to stay. but I was able to talk him into letting us come for like 4 nights, 5 days, right? So we got there, we got the little banda all the way at the end where I had like the most amount of privacy. So the night before every night, the dive master would come out and then he would break us up into little groups, right? Which was really nice because you weren't like mush up all on top of everybody, right? So if you've ever done, I don't know, snorkeling, for instance, in Key West, right? Some of those boats, bro, you're out there with like 50 other people. This was fantastic because your boats really had no more than like 4 or 5 people. All right, so let me take my glasses off because as we're recording, I'm being told you can see the windows in my eyes and I need y'all to see me, feel me, understand me. Anyway, so like I said, we got onto the boats, and what was nice about the boats is that you had a guide with you for like 2 people for a guide. So which was nice because let's say if you're not a seasoned snorkeler, or let's say that you're nervous to go snorkeling, it was nice to feel the safety and the security that people who really do this were there and they were just really watching you and making sure that you were good, right? You would get up in the morning by like 6:30, you would have your breakfast by like 7:30, and then the boats were ready to go by 8 a.m. Now, these guys are serious, okay? You kind of feel like you are going into a world that's not your normal world, and you're kind of getting like a sneak peek, right? Now, like I said, I've snorkeled in a lot of places. Maybe you go for like an hour or 2, that's it. And it's like, ooh, snorkeling, you're done. No, this is for the enthusiast, okay? There were people who were there who had been there 7 times, all right? These guys were pulling out equipment. Now, you guys already know I love my accoutrements, right? I need all my little things and all of that. But I didn't know that you needed all of this. So even on our first day, captain of the boat was at our door. Hello, it's 8. What's happening? Why aren't you guys ready? It's like, we're coming. Like, okay, relax. We're on our way. Like, okay. Walked out there with our little snorkel and our little shoes. We get on the boat. Y'all, these guys have got wetsuits. They've got bags with like fins and snorkels and changing of clothes and like all of this stuff. And I'm looking at my mom like, was we supposed, I didn't get the memo. You know what? At the end of the day, what are we doing here? We're just trying to go snorkel anyways, and it doesn't matter, right? We get onto the boats, we go out, you go and you do your first sets of snorkeling, and then at about 10:30, they kind of take you off to like different secluded little places where you can have like some coffee and tea and some snacks that they provide, and then you get back into the water, and then you're doing like another 2 hours of snorkeling. It was great. I mean, it was fantastic. I did not know that the ocean floor could look like this. Like, I'm not playing, guys. There were parts of this ocean floor for as far as you could see in every single direction, just coral. And not like one type of coral. I am talking about soft coral, hard coral, colorful coral. I saw corals that were like neon purple. There was corals that looked like broccoli. There were corals that looked like walnuts. There were corals that looked like open-leafed like lettuce. There were corals that looked like brains. There were corals that literally looked like ferns. And in the water, they were just going back and forth as though it was like outside in the wind. There were places where I saw coral that were 9 feet long. And every single place that we went for the snorkeling, none of them looked the same. There was little ones, like remember Finding Nemo and those like clownfish and they're inside of their little like tentacle looking, like wavy looking things. They were everywhere, guys. We saw sea turtles just literally like blue, blue. We saw manta rays. So unbeknownst to me, I did not realize at this time of year, manta rays actually come to this area because they're following all the plankton. And in fact, so many people come to this area specifically to find this stuff, right? So, people were like, oh, how do you know about this place? That was not me. That was the good doctor. She was like, Rita, I want to go and see this place. I was like, okay, cool, okay. So she's like, I've been wanting to go here for 7 or 8 years. I was like, no problem. And I'm so glad I did. You're literally inside of an aquarium, just surrounded by fish coming near you. They were so curious. They would like literally come up. At one point I had my goggles on and there was like something in my periphery, right? So I was like, ugh, like what is this? Like, oh, it's all foggy. No, it wasn't. It was a tiny little fish and she was like all up in my business. It was nuts, y'all. And then the colors of everything. So there's like this one fish that I generally always see when we're snorkeling, and I should know the name of it, but I don't know. Like kind of triangular. Oh, it was in Finding Nemo. He was like a crotchety old man, and he had kind of like a cut in his thing. Yo, I saw some of the ones inside of this water that were like this big and just on you. And then the giant clams. I believe that Bikini Bottom on SpongeBob SquarePants, it had to have been mirrored after this. I saw giant clams in this water, 3-some feet, about 1.5 feet, 2 foot wide, alive. Like, the spout was about this big. And you'll see them. Do you know how long it takes for a giant clam to become a giant clam? Hundreds of years. I've just never seen nothing like that. Even when you're on the land, you're coming on the boat and it's beautiful, right? It's just this big open water. You see all of these big, islands that are up and they're just covered in bush. And it's just like, looks like, like out of those movies. Usually you would think like, oh, it's like a little beach at the bottom and then you'll have some, ability to walk out. Nope. Up top, that's how it looks. You get in that water, bro, not even after like a foot, it's just coral, right? Even the little beaches that you would see that just look really beautiful and white sand beaches, it's actually not white sand. It is covered in coral, guys. And I'm telling you, like, if you love snorkeling and coralling, like I'm saying, don't play yourself and not try to make your way out there, right? Just to show you just some of the little pieces. Look at this clamshell. Mira que beautiful. Mira que pretty, okay? And then this part, guys. So these are actual pieces of red coral. You rarely get to really see red coral anywhere, but it kind of looks like little windows. And if you look in the top, they're kind of tubular because they're hollow. That's because when this was in the water, this was soft and used to wave in the water as the currents were going by, and as it came out on land, it hardens into this. In some cultures, they actually say that red coral is a very lucky piece to have in your repertoire for monetary abundance and good life and good abundance. And then look at this piece. This is a piece of blue coral. Look at this. And then also, I don't know if you're able to see it, but look at this shell. Look at the way that this shell's markings are. Not only are the markings in orbs going in circles, but then you also have cross sections that are on top of it. And just look at how beautiful this stuff is. This is a clam. Look at these colors. It's just amazing. Like God and nature and universe, whatever it is you believe, appreciate this pure splendor that comes out of our oceans. I can't wait to go back to this country.